That was a terrific support run by Reyes when Henry broke away from Gravison. Cecinio is very much an attacking team.
3 times! They might have scored 3 times in the first 10 minutes. Reyes playing it in. Henry! This is David Beckham! It's Thierry Henry! He scored! He scored for Arsenal in the Bernabeu!
Thierry Henry, many congratulations. The first English team to ever win at the Bernabeu. Did you think he could pull it off? What a win.
To be honest, you know, we didn't know what to expect. I would like to say today, for a very long time, I didn't see an Arsenal team like that. We were brilliant defensively, but the most important thing is that we were not scared to play. And you saw, as soon as Arsenal is not scared to play, we can play good football. That's the thing we've been lacking over from some time. Instead to keep patient and put the ball down and try to hit people, we were like sometimes kicking the ball, you know, for no reason up front. And I think today, you know, at the back they were tremendous.
David, did you deserve better, or was that a fair result?
It's a fair result, I think. I think if you don't, I said it during the week, I said it in a press conference, that if you don't play well, you don't win games. It doesn't matter what sort of form a team's in. When you've got players like Henry, Fabregas, Reyes, you know, they can capitalise on errors or on team play, and you know the team didn't perform tonight, so it's a fair result.
Today we produced a very good performance and got home with a win. Of course, it's only halfway because that team, Real Madrid team, will be very dangerous until the end. But we want to qualify, and we have done the first half of the job, and we want, of course, to finish it at Highbury.
Well, like a good manager that he is, Arsene Wenger is urging a little bit of caution before we get carried away. But it is a terrific win, Bolo, for Arsenal, given their inconsistencies this season. Madrid apparently were coming into some form. It's a terrific victory.
Yeah, it's a fantastic performance from Arsenal tonight. I mean, straight from the start, they got their chances, and you were saying, well, where does this come from?
Yeah.
And we also said to actually get pace on the ball. I think if it was a bit more inside, the angle was better for him.
Yes, it was. It had run quite wide by the time he took it. Now, we were sitting there saying, if you don't, as you were just rightly saying now, if you don't take your chances, often in football, almost always in football, you get hit. And yet, just at the start of the second half, when you're thinking Madrid now will probably dominate this game and maybe win it, Henry does exactly what everybody was hoping he would do. A lot of expectation.
Building up his pace. There's no way of stopping him. But then again, he's almost got like a free run towards goal. I mean, I don't know what Mejia is doing there, just in the middle. You expect at least somebody to just, I mean, bring him down to stop the counter-attack. But he just runs on. And obviously, in the end, Ramos comes too late, and he finishes off fantastically with his left foot.
Now, as well as Arsenal played, there were periods in the game where Madrid created some chances. Probably the best couple that we've picked out really fell to David Beckham, actually.
Yes, I think he had a fair good game at the first few chances. So basically, if Madrid does score that first goal, it's obviously going to be a different game.
Yeah.
Just misses it again, and maybe that's the story of tonight for Madrid. They were just not good enough for Arsenal.
I suppose a part of the story of the night from Madrid's perspective, and as an injured player yourself, you'll have some sympathy for Jonathan Woodgate. It's heart-rending, really, after less than 10 minutes to see him pull up again with what looks like a hamstring tear, apparently. Yeah,
true. It's obviously, I think it was about 9 minutes into the game, and he had to come off. And obviously, as we know, Woodgate is a player that leads that defence. And you've got Ramos, which is a young player in the centre of defence. Then you've got Mejia coming on. The other players, there's not a lot of defensive players in there. You maybe
that's Real Madrid for you.
Expect Gravison to do all the jobs, but it's just hard for the team. And I mean, then you see that Arsenal on the break, especially with Henry and Reyes up front, they definitely had the best of the chances tonight.
Now, we started by hearing from Arsene Wenger saying, note of caution, it's still Real Madrid, even though we're at Highbury now with a 1-goal lead. Let's not get carried away here. Let's not get complacent. And of course, you can't afford to do that.
No, I mean, he says it right. You're only halfway there. I mean, it's half-time in a way because, I mean, you've got another big game coming up. But in a way, Arsenal usually plays very well at Highbury. So it will be a tough cookie for Madrid when they come in 2 weeks to Highbury.
Cautiously optimistic, quite right too. Thank you.
With good reason.
And in a very pressurized atmosphere, and we did that. And overall, I just think it's at that level, it can give you a little bit more confidence, a little bit more belief, and a little bit as well more desire for our next championship game.
Well, Clive, one of the best European results for Arsenal ever?
Yeah, I think that was Arsenal at their best. I think certainly defensively there's been a lot of questions asked about them recently. It was a big game for them to perform very, very tightly on the night, which they did. And then when you needed the man, Henry, to have a big game and score the all-important goal, he came good as well. So they're in a fantastic position now.
Let's talk about him again, shall we? Because actually last week we talked about the fact that in the big games sometimes he's gone missing. He certainly didn't go missing, and we just know how important he really is to Arsenal, despite the fact that over the last few weeks perhaps he hasn't been talked about. But he really is a massive player for the Gunners.
You've always got a chance when you've got Thierry Henry in your team. It's Henry! It's there! Henry! Game over.
Well, they said that he was the man who didn't perform in the big games, but there was none bigger than this one, Jonathan. It was a fantastic goal, and it capped off a superb Arsenal performance.
And now, of course, everyone's going to be saying it was a fantastic goal, and all it's done now is put him in the shop window as far as the Spanish clubs are concerned. Do you think he'll stay or not?
Well, I think there's always been the question recently about whether he's going to sign or not sign the new contract that's on offer. It is a massive operation now for Arsenal, I think, to keep him at the club, which they certainly want to do.
We talked about the tough task facing Chelsea in the second leg. It should be a little bit easy for Arsenal, shouldn't it?
There's no easy game against a side like Real Madrid, but I do believe they hold the upper hand now. Defensively, they're going to be tested, there's no doubt about that. But you just believe on a smaller Highbury pitch, if they can contain them, I think Arsenal will score again, because as we see, when you get at Real Madrid's back four, you have opportunities to score.
So you're seeing Arsenal to go through?
I think Arsenal will progress.
For the first time, Real Madrid and Arsenal face each other in a competitive match. Here is Henry, and Reyes can be put in here. It's a chance for a sensational start for Arsenal. And he's really struggling. And Henry! And it's another chance for Arsenal. And Beckham! Beckham in here. He's had a couple of good chances.
Face may not yet be too familiar, but make a note of the name. On loan from Arsenal, fullback Justin Hoyte, regarded as a rising star in a Sunderland side down on its luck.
I think we've been very unlucky with a few results, and because we've played very well, and it's just like one goal or 2 goals that were just conceded at the last minute and stuff like that, which has put a damper on the lads, and it's been very disappointing.
How difficult has it been to make that transition from Arsenal to on loan at Sunderland?
Obviously me moving away from home and stuff like that, and moving away from my parents and friends is obviously hard to take, but I've taken it well, and it's obviously a job I've got to do, so I just get on with it and just focus on training hard and just working hard as I can.
Sounds like it's a learning curve as a footballer and as a human being.
Yeah,
helping you to grow up a bit, maybe.
Yeah, it's helping you to grow up in a big way. Because living on your own, you've got to learn how to cook, clean and stuff like that. Because now I can't go back home and give my mum dirty washing and the food, and she can't cook for me and stuff like that. So I'm learning that as well, and then on the pitch as well.
Your dad hand in the kitchen though, are you now?
I'd like to think so.
Is it cheese on toast, beans on toast?
No, I'm learning to cook. I cook rice, salmon, chicken, so I'm learning. If I need help, I just phone home.
Hoyte's quick off the blocks, but so was his mother. Wendy Hoyte, here on the left, was a successful British sprinter in the 70s. Father Les was a sprinter, and cousin Jonathan Moore is an athlete too. It runs in the family.
They tell me you're pretty quick. At school, 11 seconds just over for the 100 metres?
Yeah, 11:01.
11:01.
Yeah,
that 01 must have really hurt.
01, and that really hurt. I couldn't. 11:01. It's just I wanted to get under 11, but 11:01. So.
I guess at one stage you had to make the choice between football and athletics. Did you make the right one, do you think?
No, I think I've made the right decision in football, and I've always wanted to do football. Obviously, my family was full of sprinters, so I'd go down to the track, and even when I was going down to the track to watch my mum and whatnot, or sometimes I'd just go and run, I'd still have a ball with me. So I feel football was always what I've wanted to do.
Rooney isolated with Breen, head down and running, and Hoyte got back.
I can't think of two more contrasting characters than Arsene Wenger and your current manager at Sunderland, Mick McCarthy. What's he like to work for?
No, Mick McCarthy's fine. You know, he's been a great man. You know, he obviously speaks his mind. He doesn't hold his words, which has been good. And, you know, if he needs to rollock someone or give you a rollicking, he does do it. He doesn't hold back. Wenger's, you know, seems to be more laid back, and, you know, the way he handles man management is different to Mick McCarthy's.
In lots of ways, you're quite similar to Ashley Cole, who obviously has gone and played for England and has become a superstar, really. Yeah. Is that somebody you look up to? Yeah, he's been my role model, you know, ever since I was growing up. You know, as a schoolboy and a youngster, just watching him even playing in the reserves. And now he's obviously in the first team. He's a great role model to me. And, you know, when I was first joined, you know, to train with the first team, that he looked after me, and he's looked after me ever since. So I'd like to thank him for that. And he's just a great model for young kids as well.
Hoyte's ambitions extend far beyond the boundaries of Wearside. With another under-21 call ahead this week, he's rejected overtures from Trinidad and Tobago and firmly pledged his allegiance to England.
For me, I think it's England because, you know, I've been playing for England since, you know, under 17s, 18s, 19s, and now 21s. So my dreams are for England. I know it's nice that Trinidad are obviously, you know, aware that I've got Trinidad in me. But I know, I think it wouldn't be fair, you know, if the other Trinidadian players are seeing me just, you know, not playing in the qualifiers or nothing, and then just obviously getting selected for the World Cup. I don't think it'd be fair on them either. So no, thank you, because I'm obviously want to, you know, pursue my England career.
It's not every day somebody is asked and then turns down the chance to play in a World Cup finals.
Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's nice, but you know, hopefully one day I get to play for, you know, England in the World Cup.
And Justin playing for the England under-21s against Norway at the Madrid Stadium on Tuesday. All the best to him and them, of course. It's good to see Arsene Wenger. He's spoken highly of Justin Hoyte, trying to see him push through, of course, English players at Arsenal.
Well, that's right. I mean, but he faces a fight for his place when he goes back, because Kerry Gilbert's come through, hasn't he? He's got Boué, who played right back the other night. He's obviously got Lauren as well. So he's in the best possible place, which is playing games, you know. And at that age, you cannot beat the experience. All right. You might say not particularly great because he's at Sunderland and losing loads of games, but I tell you what, it gives you mental toughness and certainly builds your character up.
But Wenger's done this before. He did this with Ashley Cole. You know, little known fact, he went to Crystal Palace on loan for a season.
I think it's important when players get to a certain stage of their career at their club. If they can't break into the first team, they need to get experience. It's good for them. I mean, Justin Hoyte says about moving away from home. I mean, that is good for your personal development anyway, actually seeing what it's like to be in a new place, meet new people. So off the pitch, that's good. On the pitch, every game he plays, he's putting up new challenges. He's facing new challenges. So it's important that you know, they use whatever the situation of the club they go to. They use that time to develop themselves and become better players.
Well, that's Justin Hoyte and how he fits into the Sunderland scheme of things. What about the Sunderland players, Lee? You were at Bradford when they first went up into the Premiership. It's a tough and testing campaign. How do they keep picking themselves up on a weekly basis?
It can be tough when you're getting beat week after week. And it's all about team spirit. The lads have to stick together. They all have to work hard for each other, and they've got to believe they can do it. You know, if you lose belief in staying up and winning games, then you know you're down already.
Yeah, I know the pressure's off Sunderland now. They're down, aren't they? Yeah, and then that's the difference. And they might actually get some positive results because they're not under any pressure anymore.
Well.
10th time in the Premiership this season. Blackburn beat them by a goal to nil at Ewood Park. Morton Kemp's Pedersen with his 10th of the season after 18 minutes. Mark Hughes' side now above Arsenal in 5th place. Adebayor and Emmanuel Eboué had good chances to equalise, but it's now 8 defeats on the road in the Premiership for Arsene Wenger.
Well, I'm very sad because I don't think we deserve to lose this game. With maybe 5 or 6 minutes in the first half where we suffered a little bit, but overall we were always on top of the game, and but we couldn't score and run after this goal. In the whole second half we played in one half of the pitch and couldn't come back, and we gave absolutely everything. We lacked a little bit mental sharpness because because of Tuesday night, but overall we gave absolutely everything physically until the last second of the game.
How would you assess Blackburn's tactics against you today?
They kicked the ball long, just behind our defenders, and tried to get Bellamy and Pongole to run after the ball.
Are you happy as an Arsenal manager that perhaps they play this in the spirit that you would like your teams to play?
Well, every team plays like they want. I'm not responsible for the way they play. If it suits them, you cannot judge good or bad. They won the game, so they can think they have done the right thing. I don't judge that. It's down to us to face every problem we have and tackle it well and handle it well and still win the games. We couldn't do it today, but I feel we were really unfortunate today not to get something out of the game.
It's one thing to play well in Madrid at the end of February, quite another to do so in Blackburn in midwinter. Jens Lehmann had a particularly frustrating afternoon. Rovers went ahead after 20 minutes after a sublime bit of high-speed skill from Bellamy gave him the space to find Pedersen, who blasted it in, doing himself a mischief in the process. We can all do this in the back garden, but not at speed. Senderos's arms were all over Bellamy. Mark Hughes' arms were held up high in the air. Lehmann's not the first and won't be the last to be wound up by Savage. That little kick earned him a telling off here, and then this little push here earned him the yellow card he felt was so richly undeserved.